Hi everyone. So by this time you've probably heard of ChatGPT, which is quite fantastic actually. And essentially I asked it to explain how it works, which it provided in a very nice simple context in one paragraph. So we're going to use it to try and write an interesting game world. So what I mean write, it's probably one of the videos, one of the few videos where write does not mean write code. In this case, we're literally going to write text and ask ChatGPT to essentially populate the rest. So if you think about it, I mean, you can do lots of interesting things, but one of the use cases that I kind of had was the ability to build like a game world that dynamically evolves. So for example, we start with a core idea and give it the idea as well as some details about the idea, but leaving everything else blank, and then it can fill in the blanks, which is great. Now let's give it a go. We start with, this is a game world called Zephyria. It's one of the open world RPGs that I've been building in Kotlin, so might as well use it here. Game world. This is game world called Zephyria, set in a medieval. How do you spell medieval? That looks right. Fantasy world. Zephyria has 4 main large cities. Cities are, so when you're kind of talking to this chat system, it's fine to use just natural, kind of plain natural language as if you're talking to a real human, but it's much easier once you kind of have a general understanding of how text processing works, in which case you can kind of specify queries in a much more strict environment, which makes it much easier for it to process as well, I suppose. So the cities are, we're going to have Atlanta. I'm just going to come up with some names. Juno. I think this is a city from Ragnarok Online, which I used to play like 15 years ago. In fact, a lot of this is kind of going to be influenced by that, I think. Juno, what else? Drummer. I think in Skyrim there's something like Dwemer, but I can't remember what it is. And how about Hong, something like that. That will do. So we have different cities, presumably set in different parts of the world, and they are going to. Actually, we're not going to do anything about the cities just yet. I want to give it a setting so it can start populating the details. We are the main protagonist, and we're the main protagonist, and we are currently in Juno, which is the capital city. Juno is a commercial hub, and it has the highest population. We are inside the town or city hall, I suppose, and we see 4 people. So now we get down to, so we've got a world, and within the world we placed our main character in the city hall, and we see 4 people. This is how I'm going to introduce some characters. And how about, well, we gave it the location first, so let it describe the location first, and then we'll get to the characters. Describe the city hall interior. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. Because all of these things are automatically populated. Wow, that's actually a lot more than I expected. The 4 people you see are likely city officials or merchants dressed in their finest attire, discussing matters of importance to the city. That is fine. That is not, I mean, the room is fine. I'm not going to touch it. The 4 people, I want to turn them into actual characters rather than NPCs. So here it goes. We're going to try and identify each person individually. The 4, so we take a close look at the 4 people. They appear to be, because now we need to give classes as well. So there are 4 people. Let's go with the kind of usual, right? We've got a warrior, rogue, mage, and then somebody else. And then within these 3 main categories, kind of old school categories, how about we start with something a bit more specific? And presumably we need to give names as well. Let me see if I can remember names of my characters. They are Safer, Terra. I think that's what I called my priestess. Safer was the assassin. Akechi, that was the monk. And there's one more that we need to, one more name. And how about Rosie? And then we need to specify each character and who they are, what they do. Again, not too much details of, kind of just provide a general idea, I guess, and then it should be able to produce, well, the character for us, really. Safer is a 25-year-old male, and Safer is an assassin class. He often uses 2 daggers and keeps them close in case of an ambush or something. Safer is mysterious, as all assassins are presumably, and what do we want him to be? Mysterious, often wears a hood, and poison bottles, because assassins do. Describe Safer's appearance based on this information. So it's going to spit out the core knowledge that we provided, because that's how most language models work. I think. I'm not an AI expert per se, but from what I've gathered, that's how this thing works. It will take the things that you said, use that as kind of core knowledge, the thing that cannot be changed, immutable knowledge, and then everything else is built on top of it, kind of almost like extrapolated. He's dressed in a dark form, fitting clothing, ease of movement, yep, because he is an assassin. His hood, yep, that's perfect. Carries 2 daggers in his waist. That's exactly how I imagine him, actually. Very focused and alert, constantly scanning his surroundings. Yeah, that's fine. I don't particularly care about kind of the visual appearance because it is a text-based game. I don't normally remember the visual appearance anyway, so let's focus on skilled and deadly assassin, ready for any situation. He also has a scar above his right eyebrow. The scar thing, where did that come from? Well, presumably he is an assassin, so he's seen a fair amount of fights. Though that's kind of contradicting because assassins are supposed to be unseen. But that will do. So we've done Safer. Now let's describe Inalterra, who is a priestess or kind of white mage. Let's go with white mage. Is a white mage. We need to give an age, I guess. 25. Let's go with 26. Suppose all these 4 people are kind of from the same generation, and maybe they even went to the same school of whatever. What kind of schools do we have in medieval fantasy worlds? Like magic schools? Is a 26-year-old female who is a white mage and focuses on healing and empowering allies in battle. What did we say? Assassin class, white mage, yeah, that will do. So what kind of weapon? What kind of weapon the white mage might carry? A staff? She carries a white staff with a green gem on top of it. Some kind of a... I don't even know what white mages would wear. Something that protects from magic, presumably. Let's start with green gem on top of it. She wears a magical armor that is enchanted to protect against dark magic. How about that? Now, describe Terra's appearance based on this information. Kind and gentle appearance. Good, because white mage. Serene and peaceful. Yep, that's absolutely fine. White and green, that works. I kind of imagined the armor to be white, actually, yeah. Great. So we've got 2 characters in. Who do we need? Akechi is he's going to be the oldest of them. Is a 30 years old male who. So we've got an assassin. We've got a white mage. We need some kind of a tank. That's usually how it goes. And then the fourth character could be, we need a long range. So a ranger, an archer, something like that. So this guy is a tank then. Male knight. Knight who carries a sword and a shield, as all tanks do, usually. Unless you're playing something like Divinity, in which case you can just stop worrying about tanks. And a shield. So we did the class, we did the age, we did the carry thing, and then, well, he's obviously going to be wearing armor. Is wearing leather is probably not going to be enough, so we go with plate armor. Something like is going plate armor with what? He's wearing a plate armor. That should be sufficient, right? And a helm. And a helm. Is usually the one to take all of the damage in battle, because he's the tank. Usually the one to take all the damage in battle. And something about his personality, possibly? I don't know. Is a brave warrior who has seen many a battle. How about that? Now we need it to describe Itchy's appearance based on this information. Broad and powerful, that works. Suit of plate armor, yep, covers his entire body, yep. His armor is well crafted. Engravings of his house or kingdom's coat of arms. That's a nice little detail that I did not include. A sword, shield, well used, seasoned warrior, yeah. Dedicated to protecting others and is willing to sacrifice himself in the line of duty. Yep, that's a perfect description. Now, this is kind of really just an experiment rather than building this to actually kind of to get a meaningful prototype with it. I don't have any goal like that. But it would be interesting, like if you were to really continue doing this in a more systematic manner and extract this information to capture it somewhere, because I don't know how much this ChatGPT can remember. Within the chat, it seems to remember a lot of things, but there must be some kind of a limitation that goes to how far back it can remember all the details. So you might want to extract this information somewhere where you can save it, and then possibly build your own world off of it. For now, though, I think our goal could be, we're going to describe all the 4 characters, we're going to interact with them somehow, and we're going to fight somebody. presumably outside of the city gate. And that will be a sufficient demonstration of this specific use case for OpenAI stuff. Right, who was the last one? Rosie. We need a ranger. Yeah. Rosie, so we've got 30-year-old, 26, 25. Let's go another 26 or so. Is a 26-year-old female whose class is Ranger. She has a bow, obviously. Well, it could have been crossbow, but this is more kind of a light ranger. She has a bow and a quiver full of elemental arrows. We need to describe the bow. I really want to give the bow some kind of unique style. The bow has intricate engravings. I like this word or this phrase. Can we use that? Bow has intricate engravings that look like a tree, because presumably it was made by the elves. How about that? But it has intricate engravings that look like a tree. Seemingly, the bow was... What's the verb here? Do you make a bow? Because if it's like a sword, you forge it. But with a bow, can't think of a word. The bow was made by the wood elves. Seemingly the bow was made by the wood elves and carries powerful magic with it. Some say the bow never missed its target. Okay, I think there's a lot of information about the bow rather than the character. So we need to give us something. Personality. Rosie is... I guess personality-wise, you can go down the road of kind of pick the high-level stuff first, so extrovert, introvert, and then start delving into kind of branches of extroverts, branches of introverts. I don't know. Might be one way of doing it. Rosie is an extrovert. I just spelled it with an A or with an O. Rosie is an extrovert who likes talking to people and is always ready to lend a hand. That should be enough for general idea of that character. She would wear leather armor, well, something light, because she needs to kind of be really quick and agile. So she wears a leather armor to allow her the freedom of movement. So we're kind of getting to this from a different angle, because For the assassin, we didn't specify the freedom of movement and figure it out. And here we are specifying it, and let's see what else it can add. Describe Rosie's appearance based on this information. Bright, friendly expression, that works. It's brown and has a green trim. Now, that's really great. Like, how can it figure out the color that I'm thinking about? Or is all leather armor I've seen in games seems to have a brownish tint to it. She carries a bow, yep. Wood elves, nice. It should use darts, yep. Fire, ice, and electricity, yep, fine. Again, what's the deal with the scar? Why is it always uses that? So confident, ready for adventure at any time. Skilled, resourceful, ranger. Any situation. Yeah, that's perfect. Now that we've got our 4 characters, we need some kind of an interaction. So we see these 4 characters who are Safer, Tara, Akechi, and Rosie. Who is likely to interact to ask us a question? Because interact is an ambiguous word here, I think. So who's likely to introduce themselves first out of these 4 characters? Themselves, who is likely to introduce themselves to us first out of these 4 characters? My guess would be Rosie. Yeah, that's right, because she's the extrovert. Or we kind of explicitly stated that she is. Yep. She's curious, enjoys meeting new people, her friendly, open nature makes her easy to approach. Yep, that's right, because we've got the white mage who will just be standing there. The assassin will never talk. They don't talk ever. And we've got the knight. Knight is... Now here's an interesting thing. We could actually ask it to describe what the other 3 people are doing, which could be quite interesting. So suppose Rosie will ask us a question or something, or will introduce herself to us. Rosie starts talking to us and would like to know more about our adventure. Did we say anything about us? I don't think so. I don't think we did. Starts talking to us and would like to know more about our adventure. What are the most... Meanwhile, describe... Now this is where it gets interesting, because I have no idea what it's going to say. Describe what the other 3 characters are doing. I like to be engaged in their own activities. I like standing off to the side. No, that's perfect. Yep. Terra, the white mage, yep, it's her. Nearby, ready to offer healing, yep. they're in good condition. We also engage in a quiet conversation with other guards or city officials, discussing strategies for defending the city. That sounds like something that a knight would do. And their own tasks and responsibilities, but are aware of and ready to assist each other if needed. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so let's create a situation, shall we? So we start talking to Rosie. We say that that we saw a scout on our way to the city, which is Juno, I think. This is why I'm saying that it's nice if you can have a separate document where you capture all those things, so that it will remember what it talks about, but you won't be able to remember some of the details that you mentioned. So that's nice to be able to kind of capture these in something extra thingy. And in fact, if you have multiple people doing this, you could even play kind of like an RPG game, Dungeons and Dragons style, possibly. There are so many opportunities here. I haven't even really thought about it. I just kind of rushed into this because it seemed like a perfect opportunity to really test out how it works. We explained to Rosie that we saw an orc scout, an orc who seemed to be a scout, because we don't know. We just saw that orc on our way to Juno. Explained to Rosie that we saw an orc who seemed to be a scout on our way to Juno. We are concerned that the scout, so it should be able to pick up the scout, the one that I'm talking about, because there is only one scout. We are concerned that the scout might be checking out the city defenses in order to bring more orc troops to attack Juno. So Juno is the city. That is the city, right? We are inside the city hall. We are in the main. I'm currently in Juno. Yep, that's great. We explained to Rosie that we saw an orc who seemed to be a scout on our way to Juno. We are concerned that the scout might be checking out the city defenses. And now we need to bring the other three characters in, because apparently they're doing their own stuff. Safer, Terra, and Akechi are suddenly become more interested in what we have to say. After we have finished explaining what is Akechi's response, because I don't think Seifo and Terra are going to say anything. Seifo is basically just a killer waiting for a new target. Terra is the healer. Presumably she won't have any strategies on like what to do. Akechi is the knight, so I would guess that he will always step up to kind of into the strategy discussion. Although we have finished explaining what is Akechi's response to the scout, to the potential scout problem. Now this is where we're getting kind of abstract. Let's see. Scout near Juno, potential of an orc attack of the city. Knight is likely to have a serious and focused response. Yeah, that's great. Might be on take charge of the situation. Oh yeah, you would. Serious matter. We need to act quickly and inform the city's leaders and military. Must be found and eliminated before it can report back. Yeah, that's the usual strategy. Like whenever you're playing any kind of strategy game, that's what you do, right? Any scouts must be eliminated before they can report back to its tribe. Orc tribe, I would say horde, but I guess tribe works. Should also prepare the city's defenses in case the scout has already sent word of the city's weaknesses. Gather a group of warriors and we'll go out to search the scout and make sure he can't harm the city. Yep, that's all good, but you don't need to search for a group of warriors. We are a group of warriors. We'd be very determined to protect the city and its people. Take action right away. Yeah, that's perfect. And that will allow us to finish this little story. It would show leadership skills and a sense of responsibility. Yeah, that's fine. We, the adventurer, are going to propose to help, and then we take the rest of them with us. Yeah, let's do that. We offer our help in finding and eliminating the scout, and this is where the kind of short-term memory really comes in handy, because it can remember the references to things in the conversation, and it should know that the scout that we're talking about. We offer our help in finding and eliminating the scout, and Safer and Tara and Rosie are also on board to help with this situation, with this orc scout situation. We head out immediately, because I kind of need to finish this. We head out immediately to the city gates. Yeah, we're at the city gates, and move towards the location where we last saw Scout. Let's see if it understands how many people are on the team now. We offer our help. We offer Akechi our help in finding. So basically Akechi is the knight. He's the guy. He's the leader of this group. He knows what to do, basically. Find and eliminate. Now, we offered our help, so we are +1. And then are also on board to help these 3 people. So in total, there should be 5 of us. We head out immediately to the city gates and move towards the location where we last saw the Scout. How many of us are in this group moving to find and eliminate the Scout? Okay, I think we broke it. There was an error in generating the response. Let's regenerate. Fair enough. That was kind of almost like a culminating moment. That's a shame. That's a cliffhanger. That's what it is. I wonder if I can actually continue in this chat after that, because I can't see a way to type this. Can I just say there is an error. Can I do anything with it? Oh, that's a shame. But anyway, I mean, for the basis, it is really powerful. Like, it could produce a lot of the things that would help content generators. Like, if you're planning to populate something on the fly and you don't want to kind of spend a lot of time worrying about the details, then you could potentially use this in game development, like on a more sort of systematic manner, in a more systematic manner, rather than just this prototype. But it is pretty good. I'm really excited about it. I wonder if there is an API available. There is an API available. I just don't know what kind of things you can pass through the API, which is probably also limited by number of connections or number of requests or something. But it would be quite interesting to include this in an actual kind of game, like say in FXGL, build an RPG, build some general descriptions of things within the game world, but not show them to the player, show them to the AI, so that whenever you have a companion or whoever who's going with you in a kind of combat, in a battle party or something, and you point out that there is a house nearby or something, and you may ask the AI, your companion, what would be the best strategy, or what would be an interesting way to approach the house or approach the enemies in the house or something like that. And it will actually generate some strategies for you. Like this one, where I asked what the response is going to be of the knight. That is a very good response. I don't know, it's probably an excellent response, to be fair, because, you know, find and eliminate. That's exactly what I would have done in a game, well, in any game, really. So I'm really excited to see what the final version is, and once the errors are fixed, because if it starts crashing on any non-trivial questions, that's not good. But hopefully this will be fixed. In any case, this is just to give you a general idea of what kind of use cases you might want to put through this thing, rather than just kind of basic chat with it. And let's see what we can do in the future, shall we? All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.